wanted to do a film about men that are kind of out of sync with the world. They're kind of like the Wild Bunch, the way that was Sam Peckinpah, but they have a certain code that they live by, which is sort of unusual, because as we know, codes are basically been reduced to zip codes lately. The real kind of codes are gone. So we have very unusual one-off guys. A group of guys going into a situation, let's go like the Alamo, where you know you're not going to make it out, but you're there for an ideal, for a cause, where mercenaries normally don't care about causes. Now it's about where does money start and humanity begin? A bunch of older, complicated guys with issues, and they're best friends. So when they're not arguing among themselves, they're out there in the field doing things. Actually, they're more comfortable in battle than they are on the bus ride home. At one time, I had a code that we only go after people that deserve it. I have become embittered. All I care about are mechanics, my car, my plane. People don't interest me anymore. And therein lies the story, that we actually were errant knights. We provided a kind of relief for the weak. We killed killers. We went after the bad guys. And then I started to become sort of a bad guy. Bad in the sense that it's all about the money. I brought in some new faces, new blood, and what's come about is just this really interesting gathering of very unique, Mickey Rourke, people that are extremely their own person. Wouldn't it be great to get Mickey Rourke in here? And wouldn't it be great to get a big, tough guy? And I thought, well, I was thinking about Forrest Whitaker. I said, no, it's not. I'm talking about a big, tough guy. Then Terry Crews comes around. And then I thought, you know, the world's changing. It isn't just about Hollywood anymore, even though we wish it was. It's not. Celebrity is worldwide. You can be an incredibly renowned celebrity. Matter of fact, probably the biggest celebrities in the world are not actors anymore. So I thought, wow, this is interesting. So I'll go into the UFC and get the equivalent to their fighting god, and that's Randy Couture. Then I thought, Terry Crews is fantastic, an athlete, big, huge, but funny, very unusual. And then Stone Cold Steve Austin, who's not funny when he's breaking every bone in your body, but when you yell cut, it is funny. Anyway, they all have a certain kind of levity to themselves, and they all can fight like hell. And then, of course, there's Dolph, who I just think is just a fantastically cooperative, excellent guy. Arnold and Bruce, you know, this is real friendship. This is far beyond. It was one of those ridiculous pipe dreams. You're laying in bed, you sit up and go, Arnold, that's right, he'll walk, what, Sly, wake up. He's the governor, all right? He's in a different world. Bruce, well, these are multi-million-dollar actors and they're in their own thing and we've never done it together. And I said, well, why not? Let me just try. And truthfully, I tried to use other actors in the beginning, just regular, good, solid actors. But I said, wow, we may never, like I said, it could be the last film ever. And if I use that philosophy, why not try? And Arnold goes, sure. And I'll make sure it's not in conflict with my duties. So he did it like at 4 o'clock on a Saturday morning in a church and nobody knew it was there. Everyone brought their own clothes. Yep, I'm kidding. It was like stealth. And then Bruce came in, he was on his way to Turkey, did his lines, fantastic. And by 7, literally, we didn't exist. Boom. When I stood with these guys, I totally got it, why they're stars. You know what I mean? You get it. You can feel the wattage. That's no bull. It's true. There's a definite heat that comes off of special people. And I'm looking at Bruce and I'm going, God damn, you know what? I got to do a few more with these dudes. I really do. There's something about cowboys and Indians. There's something about what Mel Gibson did in Braveheart. It's just mano, mano. And that hasn't been done, believe it or not. It's always man and some torpedo that hits them, or a laser-driven bomb. There's no carrier jets. There is no aircraft carrier. I like Harrier jets, like I said before, no F-16s, no bombs, no this, no that. So what we're going to do for action is you walk over, you punch those two guys in the face, you throw a hatchet at him, and I'll get the beat out of me by Steve. Go. And literally you would work. I said, let's make it that kind of confrontational thing. And I know I'm being facetious about it, but people say it's a throwback, but that's all we knew. We realize that death and mayhem are a part of life, and then so is celebration. And it's a cycle, and we cover all those bases. So it isn't just a bunch of guys laughing their way through it. That's right, another battle, see you tomorrow. It takes a toll, like everything, in their life, and their children, and their optimism. So I think what I'm not exactly sure what you take out of it, because I'm very hung up on the theme of redemption. There is certainly that, but there's also a sense that you must have friends. Loneliness is deadlier than any bullet ever fired. It's the kind of movie I would love, and it's what I believe in. These characters are not superhuman. They have abilities, but everything they can do is possible, so they're real. Second of all, they are very susceptible to just being lonely. That's all they got is each other. And there's a brotherhood. So expect that. Brotherhood, reality, and in the end, there's a moral message that the greatest sacrifice, the greatest display of love is sacrificing your life for even a stranger, for an ideal. And that comes at a great cost.
I really like the concept, you know, a bunch of, you know, regular guys with all these sort of insecurities and problems of their own, and at the same time, when they're put in a situation where they need to focus and kick ass, as they say over here, they can all do that. So, yeah, it's a testosterone-fueled lineup, as you'll probably find out when you see the motley crew that Sly assembled. Being as familiar as I've been with Sylvester Stallone and his movies of the past, once I heard that he wanted to sort of have a bit of lunch and a meeting, it was like, rush to the rendezvous point. So we had a nice bit of lunch in one of the hotels over in Beverly Hills, and he told me about the movie he wants to make, and, you know, I just recently see his last Rambo, as you know, pretty much every movie he's ever done, but you know, it's very difficult to sort of execute action in a believable, tough way, and he does it the best anybody does it. So to be involved with someone who does it so well, and, you know, to be, you know, in the same house as the big old legend, who was I to say no? It's a very unique way that he works, and, you know, it just comes from his own experience of being a writer, a director. I mean, you know, if he could work the editing suite, he'd probably be an editor too. So, I mean, there's nothing that he doesn't allow himself to be a part of. And, you know, it's a one-man vision that is full of experience and full of confidence. So that allows everybody to just be, you know, relaxed and chilled out. The one thing I like about Sly is the fact that he hates the use of CG, and all of his stuff is, you know, I've never seen anyone get involved as much as than Sly. You know, he does all of his own stuff, and it's like, you know, he bashes himself senseless and bashes everybody around in a realistic, believable way, and unless it comes across that way, he doesn't want to put it in the film. So, you know, that's music to my ears. This is a big movie, a big cast, big sequences, and, you know, some tough action. Yeah, people are getting dirty and busted up, and people get put to sleep in a good way. Yeah, there's some great action.
He's Stallone's best friend in the film, but he's gone a little too far, too much combat stress and excessive behavior and a little bit of drugs, and he's kind of, when we first meet him, he's really out on a limb. He's gone too far, and Stallone has to get rid of him and get rid of me, and and that really pains Gunnar that Barney has to fire him. Sly wrote a character that is very a multifaceted guy. He's a tough guy. He's very lethal and dangerous, but he has like a funny side, a kind of dark sense of humor, and also he's like a kind of a pitiful character in many ways. You know, he wants people to love him, and that's really why he's doing drugs and why he has this big problem. So there's some scenes in there where, you know, I really have to reach down and try to bring some, you know, emotional truth to a guy who figures in a big budget action movie, which is, it's just kind of cool. You know, it's unusual, and it really takes a good script. I think everybody in the cast probably was a little starstruck of other people in the cast, you know, and I was too, of course. You know, I know Sly, but I never met Jet, or I never met Jason, and I think it was maybe mutual to some extent, but they're all very nice guys and very down to earth and professionals, easy to work with. And also I think when you're on screen with them, there's a little extra kind of electricity, because you're kind of checking out the other person's game a little bit while they're working with them. I really enjoy that. I think the audience will too. Working with Sly again, it's really a pleasure. I mean, I'm still kind of shocked that I'm here, and after 25 years that I'm squaring off with Stallone again. I never thought that would happen. Yeah, I'm still learning from him as a director. He's down there working, and every time I'm on the set, I try to watch how he does things, because, you know, I try to direct my own little movies on the side, and he's the master. So he's a great guy to learn from.
He knows action movies, and he knows the product that he's out to deliver. And I think Sly is a brand. You know, just like Budweiser or Coca-Cola, he knows what his fans want, and he gives it to them. When I've watched Sly direct Eric Roberts, he knows exactly what he's looking for. He knows exactly what he wants his actor to do, how he wants him to do it, and he tells them. He is very clear in his directions. He's very clear in his vision. And he's not a guy that is wishy-washy on what he wants to see. It's cut and dried. And I like that about his approach.
This character, I think, very straightforward. He's very simple. He's Vietnamese American. He's alone. He don't have a family. But in his mind, he always dream about the future. Just like a lot of American people have a dream. He dream one day have a wonderful wife, wonderful son, you know, have good education. Everything he work for the more money, because he want to protect his family. I think all the action actors in the world know him, respect him. He's not just a great action man or actor, he also is a great writer. I think he's a great director for action films. He have a heart. You know, usually action movie just fight for the beginning, beat up someone, beat on the end. I think his movie always show you something, the character. So that's, I'm really respect work with him.
It ranks up there one of the best names in movie history. I'm trying to tell you, Hail Caesar is just too perfect. And just by that, I knew who this guy was. You know what I mean? I knew who this guy was. He's a bit egotistical. You know, he likes to, you know, charm with the other guys and the whole thing, but he will die for you. That's the whole thing. He will die for you. And I kind of go into every scene, everything I do with that in mind. It's like, yo, we are expendable. He gets it. And, but when you go all out like that, you live. That's what's so crazy about it. You know what I mean? Only if you hold back and you try to save your life, that's when you lose it. We're a bunch of bad guys, you know, who over the years have done a lot of bad things for money, we're mercenaries, this kind of thing. I mean, we kind of have justified ourselves in a lot of different ways where, you know, this is the way the world is and this is what happens. But we get a chance through, you know, with this whole South American dictator and all these problems that are happening with the government and all this, we get a chance to actually do something right. And what happens is Barney decides basically that he's gonna make the right move. Instead of money, instead of it being about his financial gain and what he can get out of it, he's like, yo, can we give back a little bit? You know, this is gonna be my good deed that can hopefully make up for a whole lot of junk that we did in the past. And you know what? We all agree. Sometimes it's surreal because you look at Jet and you look at Jason and Randy, and these are people that I've looked at and admired for so long. It's kind of like you've been invited by the Justice League of superheroes. You know what I'm saying? It's like, wait a minute, me? I'm a superhero. It's like Super Friends, you know? And everybody has their own powers. Everybody does their own thing. And I'm sitting here like, I am just, I can't tell you how honored I am. His storytelling is so strong. And a lot of people, you know, there's a reason why these things resonate worldwide. There's a reason why certain stories work. And you look at this guy, the story seems very simple, but it's so many layers on every character, on everything, that Sly has totally picked out everything and totally knows every shot and every look that he wants.
Toll Road's expertise is hand-to-hand combat. I mean, he's a down and dirty, in the trenches kind of guy. You know, will use his gun for simplicity if he needs to, but you know, kind of prefers to get his hands on guys and break their necks and drop them on their heads and do that sort of thing. So, you know, that suits me pretty well. As I read the script and then heard a little more as the cast unfolded about the guys that were going to be involved in this movie, I just kept pinching myself. I'm like, did I really get this part? And I saw it as kind of a modern version of the Dirty Dozen. I mean, you think about the old classic Dirty Dozen and the list of characters that played in that movie, and this is kind of an updated version of that same thing. Different weapons, different scenarios, more real life. I mean, you think of Blackwater and some of the things that are going on in today's world compared to what was going on in World War II when you know, the Dirty Dozen happened. This is, in a lot of ways, a modern version of that same thing. I think the first time we all came together, there was this huge buzz with everybody, the whole crew, everybody on set, and including all the guys. I think it's the first time all 5 of us had kind of come together for you know, one scene, and all had to kind of interact and deal with each other. And I think that moment kind of set the tone for the rest of this experience. We kind of came together, it was fun, we joked around, and the scenes came off well, and it felt like we fit together very well.